The following Zoom meeting has been approved for audiences to wake up and think clearly. From the Clear Thinkers Association of America, Inc. The film advertised has been rated WUTC. Closed-minded, cracked open. Some material may be inappropriate for the childish mind. Cordial, thought-provoking discussion on wisdom and compassion may develop. For more info, visit wakeupandthinkclearly.org. That's wake up, the letter N, think clearly, no spaces, .org. Thank you. Oh, and Buddhism for Happiness .site. Buddhism, the number 4, happiness .site. Thank you.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Wake Up and Think Clearly. Don't think twice about it. Just join us. It's August 29th. It's Saturday, 7 a.m. And you call in.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
All right.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound to continue. After the tone, please record your name. When you have finished recording, press pound.
Hello, testing.
You are in the meeting now.
Hello.
There is one other participant joined the meeting.
All right. Whoa. I joined the meeting. See if I can.
Hello.
David! Fine, and you? Are you ready to rumble? Yes, I opened it up. All you have to do is click on join and type in my phone number. See ya. Okay. Let's see, and I'm gonna call Rami. Wake up and think clearly. Don't think twice. Just do it. Luis joined. Luis! You're up.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wake up and think clearly.
Let's try it at least.
Don't think twice. Just join us.
How you doing, Jairo?
Good, and you?
Doing good. You have a good week?
Good.
My week was a lot of work.
I got a friend in Houston, Texas. Don. Let's see if he'll join. I'm trying to leave a message to wake him up.
John in Texas is going to join us?
Don, maybe. I'm trying to wake him up.
John, D-O-N?
To record message, press.
At the end of your message, press 1.
Don Lopez, wake up. It's time to join. It's
What do you
easy.
think?
Don't think twice. Just do it. You can use your phone. You can dial by location. Let's see. You could try Chicago's number. 312-626-6799, and then it'll ask for the meeting ID. That's my phone number, 407-486-8642. No need for a password. And then ignore anything else and just join. Okay, Right. That was the message. It's probably too early for him if he's in Texas.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's perfect time for thinking right.
Great time for meditation. That's what we're doing. We're meditating out loud.
Yes. This is so important for a lot of people that are so stressed out, so depressed, so afraid. Nowadays, especially with COVID, we can't see, everything sucks, everything is scary. And there's nothing like a good conversation with a couple of friends and to put things in perspective. This is so relaxing.
Yes,
We
I
can.
like the way you and Mike did your meet. It was more like a podcast or
Meet my guru.
yeah. When
Yeah.
you talk, so I like
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't think it went anywhere, but we recorded
Maybe
it.
maybe I could with you guys' permission, I could add it to the Wake Up and Think Clearly podcast.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
See if someone will
Absolutely.
listen.
I'll ask Azush.
David Norton is in the house.
Okay. Welcome, David.
How y'all doing?
Doing great. Happy Saturday.
Yeah, that's what it is. Saturday, all day long. So what you guys talking about today?
This is like a good therapy. I was just telling Jairo how relaxing and how enjoyable it is just to talk to some people, the friendly chat. It's just like going out with your friends. The only thing missing is a good beer.
Well, that's true if you drink beer.
All right, we'll settle for a good coffee.
Well, I'm having that too. I've gotten in the habit of drinking coffee in the morning.
Is there a topic today?
I don't know, but I got some words I'd like to know about if you want to take it.
All right.
The topic is whatever's on your mind that you feel is important for everyone else to know.
That's a great topic.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea, Jairo. That's very, very good. Anyway, I came across this word called PRIORI. Does anybody off the top of their head know what that means?
Priori?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a Latin word.
Yep, it certainly is.
Prior is the same root as previous.
Right.
Before.
Right.
And basically a priori, I think that's the way they say it. A priori is before.
Okay.
So an a priori idea is to have an idea before you've been able to see or contrast it with reality, for example. A priori knowledge, a priori assumption, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I know about that word.
Okay, this is what I found for the definition to be is relating to or denoting reasoning or knowledge, which proceeds from theoretical deduction rather than from observation or experience.
That's a good definition.
Is it? I mean, that's what I found.
I mean, a priori would apply very much to faith, for example.
The what?
Faith.
Well,
Faith in God. Faith in God is like, a priori is like, there must be a God which is perfect and good because I have in me the intuition of good and God, and good and right and stuff like that. So there must be a source of that. Hence, I deduct that there must be a God, a good God. But of course, the problem is then you have to deduct there's a bad evil.
Well, the thing is, the reason I brought that up is the fact that I was looking at Karl Marx and following a few things that he was saying.
Yes.
And the thing is, I found out that that he actually got this from Kant, or Kant, whatever you want to say it. Okay, and that Kant was this was part of his reasoning thinking.
Yep.
But I find it really interesting that all these guys, Nietzsche as well, had a very strong religious background. And to me, the way I see their reasoning is just an extension of the Roman Catholic faith. And one thing I found that was super interesting too, that was a coincidence, I guess, is that Karl Marx was born in Trier, Germany. I don't know if you know anything about Trier or not, but the thing is, Trier is the home for Constantine, the Roman Empire that actually created the theology that we all believe is Christianity today. You know, and to me, I just find that Marxism and communism basically is an extension of Christianity, of Roman Christianity, I should say, not necessarily of, you know, what I find to be Christianity that comes from directly from Christ, you know. And I just find it interesting that our country is sort of moving in that direction, which really means that it hasn't gone away from the religion at all, but only embraced the religion of literalism that exists from the Roman Catholic theology.
I agree with you 100%. Kant, as much of a philosopher as he was an apologist of the idea of the existence of God. As a matter of fact, all his I would say his philosophy, all his thought was about explaining in his mind the existence of God, the Creator God. So.
Yeah, but he never. I mean, he really basically moved away from that. You know, when the thing is, when you take reasoning and you take literal, I call it maybe literal reasoning, is when you take and, you know, put all your ducks in a row, all your sentences in a row, trying to explain something, you know. Whereas, you know, the counter to this, what do they call it? That word I think it's actually supposed to be, for some reason, there's a space in it when you go to the definition of a priori, you know. But the thing is, another part of it was that, you know, there's rather, he went to a reasoning deduction rather than observation of experience. And I find those are basically two ways that we all learn, you know, either through observation and experience or through a written, say, manifesto of some sort, which basically is a theoretical type of believing in something that exists, but it's theory, you know. And theory, once again, you know, if you take the first 4 letters, THEO, it refers to God. God is, to me, anything that's really unknown, you know, in a person's life. And that's what a theory is, you know, because theory is not something that exists, but something that people have faith in that does exist. And they can't trust it exists because they don't know that it exists, because they can't see its existence. But they believe it does. And so it functions as a reality in a person's life when it's not really real.
Right.
And that there is somewhat, too, what I find is a, what do you say, sort of like a mental war that takes on, plays in everybody's mind, you know, all the time.
I never felt so free.
So what?
So free as to the day that I decided that I was going to stop even rationalizing the idea that you know, the universe was created somehow. And I'm not even saying from who or from what. The moment that I said no, there is no creator entity. And by then I had been studying quite a bit about the idea of non-duality. I felt a great relief, like if everything became natural. And that's why I started saying that reality is 100% natural. And then eventually, it's funny because I did not study physics and especially quantum mechanics until my intuition told me that no, there was no entity out there, you know, no Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. And then when I studied physics after that, digging into this first decision, it was my decision to go, no, I'm not going to believe anything anymore. I'm just going to go by the facts. by observation, like you say. Then I started digging into physics, and not the classical physics, but the quantum physics, the new physics that looks into the fabric of everything. And sure enough, I found that science is telling us that reality is both phenomenal and non-phenomenal at the same time, and hence it has no beginning and no end. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you see something or you see nothing. You're just looking at the same reality, and that was really freeing for me. No more wizard, no more Wizard of Oz
Well, the
anywhere.
thing is, a lot of people, and that's sort of preached as of God. There's no beginning and there's no end. You know, it's eternal. I mean, they use the word eternal an awful lot for
Yes,
that.
but see, they still put an entity that is.
No, that's not true. I think, another thing I discovered, if you take the word preposition, what does a preposition mean to you?
Preposition is a something that is before the position.
Yeah,
Before position.
that's exactly the way I
Like a
look.
priori. Like a priori, yeah.
Right. So a preposition, what it does, it takes in, it presupposes something with with the noun. You know. Now the thing is, that so you just have the preposition and the noun together.
Right.
Now the thing is, and then you have another word called a conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
What is a conjunction?
It's a word that puts two words together.
That's
That
correct.
ties.
That's correct. So the thing is, the word that I was looking at this past week was for. Because the thing is, you see, like the foundation of people when they're born in this country, in this religious world that we live in, they use this thing commonly, and it's not only in the church. You'll hear it in movies. You'll hear it on people when they talk. Is that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins? Well, the thing is, when you take the word for, it can be used as a preposition or it can be used as a conjunction. Not only that, but the preposition has two different definitions for it, as well as the conjunction has two different definitions. So altogether, you got four major definitions for the word for. But the thing is, when we use the word for, pretty much people use it the way that they've been taught to use it. So the thing is, if it's to be used in any other way than the way we've been taught, a person is unable to see the result. You follow me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, and to me, technically inside of the church, because they use this all the time, children from a very young age are sort of brainwashed into Christianity in a sense with the definition that they use. And the one that they use is conjunction, okay, that connects, say, Jesus died on the cross for our sins. What they're connecting is cross and sins, and they're making them together. But the thing is, if you take that out of there, okay, and don't use it as a conjunction, but use it as a preposition, the thing is, you have two different words that can be used. One is dia, which is used often for the word for, which means through. So the thing is, it means that Jesus Christ died through our sins, okay, died on the cross through our sins. Well, the thing is, this happened because the thing is the non-belief of the people that actually crucified him. And it doesn't put an extra entity in there as people take and see God as this entity that sort of put him there. But when you use the conjunction and look at it as a conjunction, has he died for our sins? The thing is, we look at it, the conjunction definition is on behalf of, which means that you have two different entities there. One is the cross and the other is the sins. And he was placed there to avoid taking responsibility for that. We substitute God as making the creation of all things that happen to us on a momentarily basis. So the thing is, it depends upon how a person actually uses the word for and understands the word for in many different situations, because it's a preposition that's used constantly in many, many different things that lead to a conclusion that may not be true.
Well, I say religion here in America is capitalist. It's all about me, 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 me.
Well, well, the thing is, and it is about capitalism, but like yourself, I think to myself, like you always keep and say, that people should be given $1,000 a month or something, and then go out and work for it. Well, to me, that there is sort of like refers again to the literal type of capitalism, and it goes into the literal type of religion, and goes back to the relationship that Jesus Christ died on the cross on my behalf, because you don't have to work for anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to experience anything. And,
Yeah.
it's to me a root for, it goes back to Kant and also
Yeah.
Marx, is the roots of why, that they support the ideology of communism.
Yeah.
With communism, all that does, it takes and makes a person stupid. So the thing is, you end up with a society that is really not going anywhere. I mean, except for down, because the more you look at nothing to be nothing, the more nothing you have in your mind. You know.
Let me read this to you as you were talking. You made me think, and I found this about Kant. He says, enlightenment is man's release from his self-incurred tutelage. Tutelage is man's inability to make use of his understanding without direction from another. Self-incurred is this tutelage, when it causes lies not in lack of reason, but in lack of resolution and courage. It's exactly what you're saying. To use it without direction from another. Sapere aude. Have courage to use your own reason. That is the motto of enlightenment. These are
Well,
words from Immanuel Kant.
yeah, the thing is, I agree with that 100%. And the thing is, you have that right now with what's going on with COVID-19, where a lot of people are very fearful of it. Where on the other hand, you have people that have courage and are just going out and living their own world. And the
Yeah.
thing is, with fear, with that fear of the disease itself, it creates other fears that manifest them in many different ways that, are not, they're not real. They're not real at all. And
Yeah.
the thing is, there's no, a person's, to me, that is in fear is unable to take and analyze, unable to take and digest, reality. If there's a need for a real fear there, that's great, but sometimes there's not. So,
I agree. I agree. So I always recommend going back to the facts, to observation. What do you see? What do you see, and what do you make of it? And don't let anybody tell you, because at the end of the day, you are the one that needs to decide what you see, what you understand, what you do not understand.
well, that's exactly right. But the only thing is, depending upon where you look, is going to determine what you see and what you understand and what becomes your reality.
Yeah.
And the
Yes.
thing is, right now we have two different, with the politics, we have two different organizations, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, and they both have a different vision that they put out. And the thing is, depending upon which one you favor, is going to be determine which one you actually see. So there's like two different things there. Nancy Pelosi, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but she put out a thing where she was talking. I don't know who the hell she was talking to, but she was actually telling, let me see if I can pull it up here.
And you can share it. I think I allow you to share.
Okay, I gotta pull it up here. Okay, the thing is, what it says, I'm just going to read this. I got the video of it too, where she actually
Yeah,
says this.
you
It
can
says you
share the
smeared
video.
somebody with falsehoods and all of the rest, and then you merchandise it, then you write it, and then you see it reported in the press. So they have the validation that the press reported the smear, and that it is called a wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And she says this is a tactic that we use. So the thing is, what that means is they're totally conscious of putting forth all of these falsehoods into the media. But the thing is, the people don't see them as falsehoods. The people see them as something that's reality that we're just talking about, and that's the way they see the Democratic Party. Now, the thing is, myself, I took this very thing, and I'm thinking to myself, well, there's the other side of what she's saying to that. So what I did is I sort of broke it up, and I'm working on that now by putting the words of the opposition into the same thing, because
context, yeah.
because you see what she is talking about is this here is a tactic of merchandising of corporate America and with what they do to the people of this country when they're selling something. They have first they create a need in your mind that you need something. Okay, then they take and put it out and they merchandise it, and then they it goes through the press, and depending upon the success of the merchandising determines the success of the product itself. you
Mm-hmm.
know so I found this very interesting, that she stated that, only she stated it in a very negative way, but that the thing is that there's much things that are used out of it in a positive way too, for the corporate world, which is still contains the falsehoods and the deception or the smear. Well, the smear no longer becomes a smear, but it becomes an asset. It becomes something that's good if you do it in reverse, and that's the
Yeah.
way that people become, um, their minds become controlled through media, through the things that they actually see. Because if a person is if you're attracted to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, it's just natural to go and whatever you see there to follow up with that with more. And the thing is, there are two different roads that a person actually goes down because of the ideologies of both. Just like communism has its own ideology that leads to a certain way. But when a person, absorbs the idea of having nothing in their mind, with that, they have no resource, they have no way to take and learn from the past. There is no past. The past is erased. And that there is what, to me, communism actually does. It erases a person's past, so they only have the future. So everything becomes momentarily true. But the thing is, there's no resources from the past experiences that they've had to actually learn from. But I don't think that it's possible to actually get rid of a person's past experiences. So the thing is, that reality, probably exists until they die. But anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. It's something that I'm working on.
But
Very interesting.
very interesting, very mindful, and you are confirming that we have to pay attention
Yeah.
to what we think, what we see, and how we put it all together. And it's a very individual exercise of data processing, and you have to be careful of the intentions of the people that you hear and the things that you see, the messages that you see out there, from whether it's marketing, um, publicity, political campaign, economical campaign, religious campaign.
Well,
You have to see through the intentions. All the way to the intentions of what you're hearing from whoever you're
You,
hearing it.
you also have to follow the money. You have to see
well,
who's marketing that influence. Like where is it coming from?
Yep.
And you have
Who's paying
to
for
also
this?
see that it's influenced you to think a certain way, and you have to look at how the clips are. They're designed to
Yep.
lead you into a certain
Yeah. Yeah.
outcome. But if you research each video clip and you have to listen to the whole thing, that could be an hour. So each little like 5 second video clip could be an hour that you have to go research, and then you would find out that those little clips are taken out of context and it
Yeah.
don't give you the complete
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah. I
well,
was.
that I
Go
was going to
ahead,
say
Dave.
that's true. But the thing is, what happens though, and the thing is, when people are very young and you're in childhood years, okay, the thing is, your teachers and your parents and you have influences that exist there that once these things are put into your mind, whatever it may be, they don't have a choice of having clips. They have a choice. They don't even have a choice of their teachers, because whatever environment that a child falls into, they automatically become absorbed into that childhood. So the thing is, like, if you have parents that are not together, that may be drug addicts or whatever, the thing is, the only protection that the little child has is their own observation of really what's going on. But then when they go to school, then they're taught certain things too. And when they go to, if they go to church or whatever organization they may be in, they're automatically taught these things. And so when they grow up, they immediately have no idea maybe of what is different, unless from their own past and their own experiences what is being said doesn't make any sense. And that's the only thing that would cause them to take and, you know, go away from what the things that they've been taught. But unfortunately, in our past, I think that subconsciously we are being taught about laws, that we're a country of laws. And now I look at this and I go back to the Sambos example, how Sambos was turned into like a racist company, of which it really was not. But the thing is, that was done through legal proceedings, where the law said that, Sambos, when you see the word Sambo, because of the picture of the little black boy running through the forest, okay, it was racist, you know? So they ended up closing down that particular chain of restaurants because of that. Now, the thing is, our society is teaching this in a subliminal way inside of our schools, and this is called cancel culture, where they're canceling out, the thing is, the idea of people to think freely and to also be able to, come to conclusions on their own through the court system. So the thing is, to me, I find this very, very disturbing. And the thing is also, inside of our culture that's being taught online and through the internet, a lot of these places have picked this up. And like when what Hyro was talking, when you take and do fact checking, it all depends which channel you're watching and what is the facts that you're looking for, and where's the beginning of these facts, because what is being fact checked right now is a lot of things that are really not true. And what it does, it destroys and cancels out people's ideals, so that there's only one ideal that is being looked at, and that's according to the fact checker. Now, the thing is, I understand that on the internet, these people that are doing the fact checking have no understanding whatsoever. They just taken and using the algorithms of the internet, okay, to do their fact checking. So when somebody comes out, especially Snopes, I understand that place is a zoo, because these people, they don't even know, they don't fact check at all. Even though they do fact check, they fact check to a certain position of their own. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, then it's false. And it's just like a narrative. If somebody puts out a narrative is a false opinion to begin with. So the thing is, if I put out an opinion that says something, and then it becomes very popular and everybody accepts it, make it law, okay, anybody that does not accept that becomes, well, that's not true. Because the thing is, people have been conditioned to believe something that's true that's not. Just like the way you look at Jesus Christ dying on the cross for our sins. If he died on the cross for our sins, how are you looking at that? Is that to replace your sins? Or is that because the people that put him there actually didn't believe him and the things that he said was true? So you see, there's a lot of different analysis that need to take place, and before the facts are checked. Because if you were to take and fact check the fact that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, it would all depend upon what fact checker you went to as to the reality of the facts. Because the narrative, you have two different narratives with two different ideals. So once again, like, what is really fact and what are you comparing it for? Because there's facts that exist according to law of the United States, and then there's facts that live according to narratives of people, and they never match up. And the thing is, when you go to court, when, just like with Sambos being accused of racism and causing them to go down the tubes, that there was, just a prosecutor that went into the court of law and was able to take and tell a story that the jurors believed, okay, to get a ruling. It doesn't mean that that was true, because the actual reality, the people formed the name Sambos because one guy's name was Sam and the other guy's name was Bo something. Okay, and they came up with Sambos, and then they thought that, hey, this little East Indian story of this little black guy was a good story to, for the good theme for the restaurant, which it was. And and there's nothing wrong with the story. But when they took and they, canceled out Sambos, they also canceled out that story as well. And the thing is, any story that doesn't go along with the cancel culture or with what they're trying to do automatically becomes dead, and that's how they destroy it. And that is happening all the way throughout our society, whether you can fact check that or not. But the only thing is, it's very, very visible to see if you open your eyes and look. I don't know if any of that makes sense or not.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, David. Makes a lot of sense.
I don't know myself. I've been thinking this past week. I've learned to take and do these clips. To clip different clips from different. More or less what Hiro said, to take and see. If it has to be fact checked. But the thing is, a lot of times with these clips, there's a story inside of the entire presentation period. Now, the thing is, everybody knows that now that certain stories are not even being allowed to be placed on YouTube and Facebook and other media outlets. So I've been sort of thinking about taking and creating a little meetup or something to just show people how to take and do clips, and take and have some kind of a contest where the participants, almost like a golfing match or whatever with your friends, you would take and put in $10 or something, and say the winner would take and take the prize, whatever it is, after a week or so, and see what kind of clips can be created, and not put any kind of limitation on it as to what a person thinks is right or not, but to more or less to take and have a person use their own creativity as to the way that they see life, so that their clips can take and portray, actually what they see. They may be mirroring, the Democratic Party, they may be mirroring the Republican Party. But the thing is, I think it might be a good way to form a discussion, and also creativity, for people to take and be involved with. It's just a thought that's gone through my mind this past week. So I don't know if I'm going to follow through this. Matter of fact, I think I mentioned it to Hiro that he should take and do a meetup on how to put together these clips and make these little different movies.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great idea, because of it would show people where people stand. You give ideas and presence to people's own experiences and the things that they see in life.
I'm thinking I'm thinking of going through all the Zoom meetings. I got and making clips of the best moments of all of them and putting it into one big clip. Like wake up and think clearly, the best of, or something like that.
The best of think clearly.
Yeah, the only thing is, you see, like, I think that if we were to have a meetup regarding that, it would be good to take and discuss the length of these clips too, and to make the best out of it. Because the thing is, a lot of people's attention is not too long. So the thing is, if you have anything that's over an hour and a person starts seeing that and everything is moving slow, the first thing to do is, hey, I'm not going to watch that, and then turn it off. So I found that the best kind of clip is something like 3 to 7 or 10 minutes at the very most. 10 minutes is very long, but 3 minutes.
Good point.
Huh?
That's a good point. So we should end this meeting about now.
And no, that's not what happened. Well, the best thing to do is you make a bunch of clips out of it. You have little short topics, and then you take and you discuss them, and then you put them out, and then you can take and brand each little sub clip with a name that you can take and put out, rather than taking and having the whole thing as one thing in the entirety. Just like the last one, I looked at, I went to one of these things that like Hiro had recorded on the internet, and the first half hour of it was nothing. I mean, people were just sitting there talking, well, what do you think, this, which was nothing.
Right.
It wasn't until we start getting into the meat of the things. But then the thing is, it'd be good to be able to go back and clip out some of this stuff and, like Iro said, put it into another little video. I think these would be really, really good if
Yeah,
it's
I
done
could
right.
make a little like 5-minute videos
You know,
of
10
the
seconds of
best.
this, 20 seconds of that, 30
Yeah,
seconds of
like
this.
a
Yeah.
string of moments of enlightenment, like people chatting and say, "Oh, that's a good point." I'll clip that
Yeah.
in it, make a string
Yeah.
of those, and make
Right.
it
Right.
5 minutes long, and then put it on everywhere: Facebook, YouTube,
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah, that's right. You could
Twitter,
put it, just about everywhere that you
LinkedIn.
wanted to, and that way you could
LinkedIn.
get your message out as to what you believe, what you think.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like I say, that was just an idea. And I'll be honest with you, I know a little bit about this, but I'm not, really to the point to where I can tell anybody everything. But I think that if we had a little meetup,
Hmm.
I don't know if you wanted to do something like that on, like on Saturday morning or not, but I'm thinking more. We could do it on Saturday morning if you wanted to, or we could take and do something during the week and see what kind of response we get. And also have the people that are there, when you're doing this, you're constantly learning and make it a discussion about, little different things that we could do to take and improve what we're doing. Because the thing is, when you start doing this, and if people haven't done it, there's all kinds of little experiences that, you just don't have the answers to. That if you can have a little meetup type group where you can come back and talk to one another about it and learn from one another, I think would be very beneficial.
Yes.
Yep. Very good idea.
You think that's good?
On a side note,
Yes.
I wanted to share something that I was looking at this past week. There was a French neuroscientist that wrote a book that's become very famous in France. It's called "Learn How to Learn."
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about different studies that they've done with MRIs and CAT scans of brains and everything, especially of the kids, and how the brain develops and puts things together, and how the kids learn how to learn, because that's when your brain is completely open. It's just absorbing left and right and connecting dots. And he came up with a I would say like a pathway or a technique to learn how to learn, which is always faster and easier when you're younger, when your brain is very young and it's just absorbing data. But I contend, and this is my personal experience, that it can happen just the same when you're older, because in my experience, I didn't really start thinking about thinking, meta thinking, until I was almost in my 40s. And the guy gave the following fundamental pieces of information on how to better learn. And it reduces it to attention, concentration, which incidentally is very similar to uh, the Eastern concept of meditation and mindfulness. So paying attention, focusing your attention to something, the object of meditation, they call it. So attention, so reducing the amount of distraction and just focusing your mind on something that is interesting to you, that you enjoy. The second one is active engagement, which the way I interpret is the knowledge stops being theoretical and it becomes a dynamic part of your life. So you use what you learn in your life instead of just learning something and then just leaving it there. It's like, okay, yeah, that's interesting, but it doesn't affect your life in a practical way. So active engagement into that learning that you're getting. The third one is error management. He says, and I agree with him, that the learning is trial and error always. You just don't learn if you don't make mistakes. So you make the wrong assumptions, and then you have to falsify them, and then Once you falsify them, a new knowledge becomes true, and then you keep going and on and on. That's the scientific method, where everything is, in the end, a theory, because life as a whole is unexplainable. It's ineffable. So I felt that was a very good one, because people get stuck on the ideas, and they have a hard time changing the way they think, or the way they live. And the fourth one was consolidation and repetition. That what he's saying there, there's learning is not reading something and going, okay, I got it. So true learning is a series of considering something new, analyzing it, dispelling it, or confirming it, and going back and making it wider and deeper. Just like a big pyramid, of knowledge that becomes wider and taller as you go. So by consolidation and repetition, you are able to truly understand the concept from all this what I call super perspectivism. So I found that extremely interesting, the way he put it, and I think it's a good thing to think about in our
Well,
daily lives.
I think that what you just explained is actually what actually does happen in the learning process of a person. And to me, I go back to, if people could just be taught at a young age, just unite with curiosity. When a person does that, to ask questions, and the thing is, then they find out if the answers that they're searching for are true or not. The thing is, when we have, like I used to take in when I first started as a young man working for a real estate company and selling real estate, I was fortunate. I had a teacher that showed me that, hey, when you go on a presentation, you need to have a presentation. There's order to it. And the more information that you have in your presentation, the better of a chance that you have of making that sale, which is very, very true. And only by doing it over and over again through the repetition that you were just talking about does it become second nature and also a part of a person's life, you know? And I think that what you were just saying there is a very basic concept of probably teachers that use that same sort of thing, only maybe using different words, by teaching and through our corporate world and through our natural world with our parents, or and also even things that we actually learn on our own. Um, because the thing is, it is a process, and that is a process. But the thing is, people don't really become aware or knowledgeable. I don't know, the word knowledgeable is not right, but aware of these things until they reach a certain age. I think that in a person's life, there's a thing called change of life, where all of a sudden you start realizing that some of the things that you've been taught and some of the things that you believe are not factual. You become your own fact checker, and you do that by asking questions. And then you find sources that sort of disagree with some of the things that you disagree with, right. And you end up aligning yourself with those people and with those things, okay, to make yourself better and to have a greater understanding of the life that you're living. And I think this is just natural. But the thing is, when people are very young, like when they get out of high school, I mean, these kids are looking for, number one, to make money, and sex is on the minds of them so much, and their hormones are racing and things that they really don't take time, to take and analyze the things that they've been taught up until that age. And it isn't until they experience life, for the next 10 years or so, do most people or most kids actually come to a realization that some of the things they've been taught are not right. Mm-hmm. But naturally, there's some young kids too that have been brought up in a world where they're encouraged to ask questions and to explore the world that we live in, that will see these things much earlier than others. And some kids, I think, they go through life and they never take the time to really understand, their own life and what they're doing. I mean, you have an array of this whole thing that exists, with people throughout their lives. So
excellent. Yep. So I'm going to share with you, just in case you guys are interested, the name of this guy. He has some videos in French, but he does have some videos in English, and it was very interesting what he said. And because I am so interested in in learning.
Right.
Now it's just
Right.
that's all my life is about now. Of course, I live like anybody else.
Right. No, you have to.
I wake up, I have my coffee, I brush my teeth, I go to work, I interact with my wife, the dog, my kids, the neighbors, everything. I'm just a regular human being.
Right.
But in the background of all the activity I I have a tremendous, and I use the word that you just said, curiosity. I am extremely curious. I'm just like absorbing more than ever. Uh, Although I'm not curious about events and the conventional stuff, the stuff at the street level. I am very interested in thought in and of itself, and very liberating to me. And I think that these four things confirm what has happened to me. So I feel it's important to verbalize it and know about it, because it's a necessary strategy for better learning. So there.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. I don't know. I forgot to take him. I'm going to put up this thing from Nancy Pelosi, and on the bottom, I'm going to put up the thing that I was working on myself into the, I guess, the chat thing. If you guys are interested, you can copy it, I guess, and put it on your own thing. Whoops, let me see. I'm not familiar with all this stuff yet, so. Okay, there it is. Anyway, so that there, the top part is what Nancy Pelosi said. I have the audio and I have the clip of the video when she said this. But the only thing is, like I say, I'm trying to take and break this down. And you'll see on the bottom part where I'm taking and putting different words in there for like smear, and then, changing this around a little bit into different ways to be able to see the benefits of this and how that's used in the corporate world, into the world of falsehoods, and into the world of reality too. Because the thing is, it can be looked at in many different ways, and that's what I do with a word. Just like I brought up the word for before, and I don't know why, but it's of 30 years, in my past 30 years of understanding and looking at word definitions, this has not been something that I searched out until recently. And then when I find that all the different words that this word for actually means, and depending upon how it's used as a preposition or conjunction, makes all the difference in the world as to how we understand even any kind of sentence, that exists. I mean, we may think that we do, but yet until you really examine some of this stuff, I have to question myself. Did I really know what I knew?
Yeah. What do I know, and do I know what I know?
Right.
All right. I think Jairo has disappeared momentarily.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, he has not.
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
I'm trying to get a guy named Justin Shenryu Williams.
Who's he? Hey, what happened to that guy you told me about the other day?
I think Justin Shenryu Williams might be in. I'm not sure where he lives. It might be in Europe somewhere. But I think he's an expert in a Japanese instrument.
Really? Like, musical instruments.
Did we have a guy join us one day from Japan or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoshi. Yes.
Yeah, Yoshi.
Seen him.
Right.
And we haven't seen Rami.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Rami. I'm sure he's out there. He's always doing a lot of meetups. Huh?
And I was trying to get Don to join in Texas. But he hasn't woken up, because it's like when it's 7 here, it's 6
over there.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, kiddos. I think I'm gonna get going, because the sun is rising.
Yeah, it is. It's coming up.
And I'm gonna have to do something out there before it really rises. So,
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Luis, how does that sound of taking and putting something together about these clips? Or would you be interested in that or not?
yeah, I think it's a great idea. I'm not technologically savvy in that regard,
Okay.
but I'm sure that Jairo is really good at that. I've seen him do video editing and audio editing, and he has the tools for that. I think it's a great idea because a lot of people don't have the patience, they don't have the attention span uh, to go through the ramblings. Sometimes we ramble and it just doesn't get to, and then all of a sudden in the conversation something is said, boom, and you get to a couple of statements or some agreement of the minds where yes, it is clear that this is what it is, and that's what the people want. They want the frosting on the cake. They don't
I
want
want
the
the
cake.
meat.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a very good idea. So Heido, if you have the time and the inclination, I know you have the skills. Uh, that'd be great. And then this is something that you can post out there and go, okay, this is the nitty gritty of our Zoom meetings on Saturday. Now, if
I was
you're
thinking,
interested in listening to the whole thing, then it's up to you.
well, what we could do is take and, I don't know if you'd be interested in, I'll just take and prepare something as far as the, how to take and do a clip on the internet, how we can take and pull that down and to take and put it into our own computers to take and build from it. And then, we could even have a discussion on that. And the thing is, like Jairo, between me and Jairo, or if other people attend, we can have other feedback in other ways too to expand this. Okay. And just have it more or less as a teaching video as to how this can be done. And then to take and drum there and then do some actual clips,
Right.
and see what can be done with it. But the thing is, if we can take and learn to teach each other and help each other with it, just like we've been doing all along, with your input and my input, Jairo's input, and Rami and whoever came along, that it becomes beneficial. The only thing is, a portion of the meeting would be focused on learning how to take and do clips and make a clip and put it up on the internet or whatever, so that it would be more beneficial for someone to even see this meeting, especially the portions that really say something, versus the portions with just nothing, because nobody wants to watch nothing.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll plan that next week, and I'll even put it on the meetup. And I think I'm going to have a meetup probably Friday. When would be a good day, Jairo?
Wednesday?
You think Wednesday be good? What time?
Around 7?
Okay, let's do
8.
Let's do 8, a little bit later, because it gives, if we do a little bit later, somebody may have something that's going on at the early hour.
Excuse me.
Okay.
All right, kids.
Okay.
Carry on Semper Fi.
All right, thank you.
Do that, Luis. Okay?
Have a great week.
Okay, sounds great.
Later, guys.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
So what do you think, Jairo? Wednesday would be good at 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll try to get there's this program that I used a few times that's pretty good, but you have to install it on a Windows PC desktop, and it allows you to play a video on a browser from any website, so it's not just YouTube.
Well, you should be able to do that anyway on your computer, I would think.
Well, maybe the Mac has it already built in, but the Windows system, you kind of have to look for something. And so I found something, and I installed it, and then I turn it on, and it asks me, do you want a specific area or the whole screen? Like, there's a lot of people that play video games, and they capture the whole screen, but you want to tell it, no, I want to capture a certain area, and you can maybe even use a outline it, like draw the square of that area. And then if you move the browser, then you get it off that area. You have to leave the browser alone while it's recording, and so it records the video and also the audio, and then it saves it to the desktop or wherever you want it to be saved, and then you could edit it later. Like if you do a bunch of them, then you can tie them together into a super video of all those clips.
Okay. Oh, the thing is, that there is good. The thing is, you can take in, like on my computer, I have a Mac, okay? And the thing is, they have a program inside of the basic program called iMovie, which what I do is I go to the clip place and I cut out and make a clip, and then I download it onto my computer, okay? And then I put it into iMovie. But I can take and make several clips and do the same thing with them. And what I'd like to do is say, like on, okay, either next Saturday, and okay, I'll take and put out a thing for, this next week too, for say Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, to show how people can take and make a clip on their, okay? And the thing is, there are some websites you can actually just, go to the website, like a web builder they are, where you can take and join the, you can subscribe to it, and then you have access to all their tools. Where you can actually take the clip and I think make a movie out of it at that website, so you don't even have to take and download it onto your computer. But what I've been doing, because they allow you to pull a clip, and then I download it onto my computer, and then I make a video from that. It really works out good. There's several different places where you can actually do that, depending upon what kind of computer and so on and so forth that you may have. But the thing is, if we just initiate this, as a discussion or something to do, and see where it goes, I'll just make something up as to what is available, what can be done, and try to work through it the best I can. And then if somebody's interested and they want to take it